Imagine this scene with me. You're standing in the heart of the Egyptian desert, surrounded by endless golden sands that have kept their secrets for over 2,000 years. The scorching sun beats down as a team of archaeologists armed with shovels, brushes and cutting-edge scanning equipment makes a discovery that will send shockwaves through the archaeological world. What they found beneath a thick layer of sand was a perfectly polished slab of black basalt. But here's where it gets truly exciting. As one worker carefully brushed along the edge of this massive stone, something incredible happened. A hidden entrance to an ancient underground passage revealed itself, sealed for centuries, waiting to share its secrets with the world. The moment the first archaeologists descended into that darkness, they knew they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. Their powerful flashlights cut through the ancient air, illuminating walls covered with relief carvings that no human eyes had seen for millennia. Hieroglyphics were carved deep into the stone, and among them one name stood out with stunning clarity: Cleopatra. But here's the puzzling question that immediately gripped the team. The cartouche, the royal name enclosure, was different from any they had seen before. It was written in a strange, binding style, unlike those found in textbooks and known monuments. This wasn't just another archaeological site. This was something that would rewrite history itself. As the scientists ventured deeper into the tunnel, the air grew colder, and, an unmistakable scent of antiquity enveloped them. Every step was documented meticulously with cameras, capturing each breathtaking moment. The echo of their footsteps resonated through the passage, as if the ancient world itself was breathing somewhere below. Then they encountered their first major obstacle, a ceiling of massive rocks. Behind it, they could hear a faint metallic ringing, as if someone had carefully hidden a treasure of precious metals behind this ancient barrier. Using specialized tools designed not to damage the delicate structure, the researchers began removing the stones one by one. After several exhausting hours of painstaking work, a passage opened to reveal a chamber that would make even the most experienced archaeologist's heart race. What we're about to reveal now will absolutely blow your mind. The walls of this chamber were covered with a layer of gold, several inches thick. When the lantern light hit those surfaces, it reflected and shimmered with hundreds of brilliant flashes, illuminating the entire room and revealing stone sarcophagi that looked as if they had just emerged from a master craftsman's workshop. On the central pedestal stood a majestic coffin, adorned with winged deity faces. But most importantly, there was a stylized portrait of a face resembling historical reconstructions of Cleopatra herself. Around the sarcophagus, scattered across the floor, lay dozens of amulet statues and ceramic vessels, painted with unknown symbols. The experts recorded every step with trembling hands, acutely aware that they stood on the threshold of a monumental discovery. On one of the vessels, they found an inscription difficult to translate, but clearly marked as Queen of the Two Lands, which unmistakably indicated this burial's connection to Cleopatra. But it doesn't stop there. On each wall, scenes of majestic processions were depicted, showing a woman in royal attire receiving offerings from priests. What caught everyone's attention were rare silver coins found in a niche beneath the wall. On one side appeared Cleopatra's profile portrait, and on the other mysterious inscriptions that couldn't be deciphered even with modern software. The coins were preserved so perfectly untouched by time, as if they had just left the mint yesterday. Here's something that will absolutely amaze you. The lead archaeologists immediately ordered the recording of each discovery's location on electronic maps, and called in specialists for DNA analysis. The first CT scans of the sarcophagus revealed something extraordinary. Inside weren't just remains, but an entire collection of personal belongings: bracelets, miniature mirrors, ivory combs. In one corner lay a bundle of papyrus, tightly rolled and wrapped in linen bandages. It appeared so fragile that no one dared touch it yet. Shortly after receiving the first images and indexing the artifacts, it became clear to the expedition members that this wasn't just a tomb. Secrets were hidden here that could change everything we know about Egypt's last queen. Behind one of the massive reliefs, the archaeologists discovered a small opening leading to an even more mysterious tunnel that had been concealed for centuries. As soon as the first researchers illuminated its depths, it became clear that the mystery had only just begun. The narrow passage turned out to be so low that the scientists had to walk hunched over, constantly holding on to walls covered with cracked gold. Every scratch on the stone surface confirmed the gravity of the moment. With each passing hour, the flashlights captured drawings of not just hieroglyphics, but entire paintings in an unknown technique, as if ancient masters were working for descendants who would speak a completely different language. On the ceiling, stars were depicted, set in small pieces of lapis lazuli and malachite, as if part of the sky itself had sunk into this chamber. The deeper the archaeologists went, the stranger the symbols became. Among classic Egyptian signs, they suddenly found completely unexpected spirals, images of intertwined birds, and masks resembling something from Eastern rather than solely African worldviews. But here's the mystery that baffled archaeologists. Small tablets with engraved lines were attached to the tunnel walls in places. When attempting to photograph these inscriptions, cameras recorded a strange glow, adding to the mystique of the situation. In some niches, they found clay tablets with raised marks resembling letters from other civilizations: Assyrian cuneiform, Greek letters, and Phoenician symbols. This literally confused the entire team, because Cleopatra was known as the queen who united different cultures in her palace. What we'll discover now will change our understanding completely. The tunnel itself seemed to have been built according to a brilliant plan. Every 20 to 30 feet there were shallow side branches leading to small chambers. Inside each, as if in ancient secret vaults, skillfully made copies of seals were stored. On round medallions, one could distinguish facial outlines, as if fingerprints of courtiers or even Cleopatra's close associates had been left on them. In one of these chambers, among chest fragments, a bronze key of unusual shape was found. Its grooves formed a word that could be read in Greek as eternity. The symbolism was clear. This wasn't just a burial place, but a message intended to last forever. The main shock awaited the expedition, where the tunnel descended sharply to the side and ended with a majestic arch. The arch was covered with a thin layer of turquoise, and at its peak rose two silver cobras, symbols of royal power. Between the cobras hung a ring resembling a bracelet, with engraved figures of a lion and an eagle. These animals aren't found together in ordinary Egyptian symbolism and hint at something more personal, perhaps the patronage of two clans or an alliance between two countries. Recent excavations have revealed something incredible about what happened next. Behind the arch lay a new labyrinth, where even experienced researchers didn't dare descend immediately. Inside the maze, the walls were decorated with unique relief carvings. The queen wore a crown shaped like the sun and crescent, holding a staff with a small scorpion statue. At her feet were depicted pomegranates and baskets of papyrus, But what astonished archaeologists more than anything else were long rows of mysterious signs for which there were no analogies in any known alphabet. At first glance, they seemed like simple patterns, but upon careful examination, these signs were composed in a repeating sequence, as if they were an encoded call to future generations. Only after several hours of meticulous work did specialists notice something strange. Some symbols were applied to the gold in layers, as if they were periodically rewritten and updated. Such a technique had never been found in any other tomb. Before the scientists' astonished eyes, barely noticeable drawings appeared under ultraviolet light. One resembled a map with intertwined lines. It was possible to guess the outlines of banks and rivers where the legendary cities of ancient Egypt once stood. Perhaps this was the key to further searches for lost temples or even additional burials of the Ptolemaic dynasty. Deep in the maze, the group found itself in a round room with a vaulted ceiling. The air was so thick that the lanterns shone with yellowish light, dissipating in strange fog. In the centre of the room stood a pedestal with a carefully carved green marble slab, depicting a scene of a woman in royal attire surrounded by a group of people with different facial features. Here were recognizable Egyptian, Greek, Roman, and even Nubian types. This discovery will blow your mind. Along the perimeter of the slab stretched a belt of mysterious symbols, where experts immediately noticed an attempt to create a new alphabet or code. Moving along the passage and recording every inch of this place, the team gradually realized that each tunnel here wasn't just part of the tomb, but an entire encyclopedia encrypted for the elite. What was the ancient queen capable of if her secrets, even after death, wouldn't surrender to her descendants? The first thing that caught attention in the new hall was strange objects precisely placed around the perimeter on low stone pedestals. One archaeologist illuminated a round metal plate covered with engravings of Cleopatra's face, but depicted in a completely atypical manner, with eyes inlaid with emeralds and a crown reminiscent of Egyptian priestly crowns. The plate wasn't just decoration. It turned out to be a cache cover. Lifting it, scientists found inside small glass ampoules with preserved remains of a red liquid. Right next to it was a vessel exuding a faint scent of palm, decorated with inlays shaped like grapes. Upon examination, it became clear that the paint composition wasn't Egyptian or even Greek at all. Specialists saw Syrian and Persian